Hi guys, it's Elliot. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about college. I know, right? Super scary. More in particular, we're going to be talking about applying for colleges and the tips that I've kind of collected and put together on making that whole process easier. Applying for college can be super scary and super intimidating, but once it's done, it's such a relief. I am going to University of Oregon in the fall. Go Ducks. I honestly never thought that I would be going to anything further than community college. So once I finally figured out how everything went, I was very nervous about it, and I wish that I had somebody there who really knew what I was going through, but nobody really did at the time who I was close with, but here I am. Okay, so let's get right into it. So tip number 1 is figure out what you want and be proud of that. So what you're gonna want to do is sit down and just think about everything that you want in a college. Do you want it to be something that is fitting within a certain budget, or are you looking for a major in particular? Do you want to study abroad? Do you want to go to a smaller state school? Even going to community college, there's nothing wrong with taking a couple years to try to figure yourself out and go to community college, or just stop there with an associate's degree. Anything that you do is way more than a bunch of people have done in this whole world. So if you start there and figure out what best suits you in a school and what you're really looking for, then figure out what that is and then own it, rock it. Whatever you end up doing, just roll with it and be happy with it. My second tip is to reach for the stars. And what I mean by this is that if there's a dream school that you always wanted to go to, but you think it's too expensive, or you don't think you'll be able to get in, or you're too nervous about it, apply to it anyway, because you never really know what could happen. You're honestly probably smarter than you think that you are, so the acceptance rate is something that you could always get into. You never know, maybe you could get waitlisted for that. And when it comes to money in college, financial aid packages vary from school to school. So if there's a school in New York that you really want to go to and you're living all the way across the country and you can't afford to go out of state, apply to it anyway, because you never know what kind of packages you're going to get and what kind of scholarships you're going to get. Like, just don't narrow anything out unless you absolutely know that your parents won't let you go there or something of that sort that's actually keeping you from going there in the first place. My third tip is to start early. Senior year is something that gets so incredibly hectic, way more hectic than you think it's going to be, and applying for college early at the end of the summer before that school year starts can be so helpful for you throughout the school year. And in addition to that, not only are you going to be done before that hectic school year starts, but you're probably going to have your application turned in time for early admission, which looks really good for you. You have a higher chance of getting accepted without being waitlisted, and you find out a lot sooner whether or not you got into that school. So start early, you guys. I can't stress this enough. Just start now. Start now. Why not? You know? Application tip number 4 is write down important dates. There are a lot of deadlines when it comes to applications, and they vary from school to school, like when you need to send in your SAT scores or finish your essay or get your letters of rec sent in or whatnot. It's very important that you sit down once you have the list of all the schools that you want to apply to and write down the dates in order of all those things and when everything is due, so you don't miss anything and you're not falling behind. And the sooner you get that finished, again, starting early the better. Tip number 5, don't be afraid to ask for help. I am the first person who's gone to university in my family at all, actually having to apply for a school, whatnot. So it took me a long time to really figure this out, that there are people around that are there to help you and there who want to help you. If you are lucky enough to have parents who went through this process, talk to them and ask them what they would suggest. Use your guidance counselors and other counselors at your school for help, because they know what they're doing. They've been through this before and they help kids with this every single year. Sit down with them and figure out if you're filling out your applications correctly and if everything looks right. And also, if you're ever really stuck, just get on the phone and talk to the people at the admissions office. You're gonna know what to do and you're not gonna be confused, and you're just gonna rock it. Tip 6, double and triple check everything. There are so many nitpicky things when it comes to applying to a college. every single thing is so in particular how a college wants it, and there's word counts and letter counts and required fields and unrequired fields, and the essays are long and short and can be so particular about grammar and things like that. So double check that you have everything spelled correctly and filled out correctly. Have someone look it over for you so you get a second pair of eyes on it and you realize you're not missing anything, and you know that everything in there is just well put together and makes you look good. So if you have grammar errors, guys, that is going to destroy you, I promise. My last and final tip number 7, is to be patient and be faithful. Guys, I promise you, you're so much smarter and you're so much better off than you think you are. And that wait to hear whether or not you got in is seriously like the most stressful waiting period of your life. I applied to 2 schools that I pretty much was guaranteed to get into, and for like those 4 months after I applied, I was still so nervous and so scared. Wait it out, have a great time of your senior year while you're waiting to hear back from those schools, and before you know it, here you are, 1 month before you leave for school, and you're gonna wonder where the time went. The whole process is very scary, and I know, but you're going to do great, and I have so much faith. Thank you so much for watching this today, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.